begin with an open comments from Coach Ash, and then we'll get into questions with both Coach Ash and Coach Campanile.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining the conference call and covering our program. Really appreciate it. Would like to just take the opportunity to welcome Coach Nunzio Campanile to our program. Very excited to have him join our team. It's been a guy that I've watched over the last 2 years and have gained a ton of respect for with the way that he works, the relationships that he has with his players, his staff. It was a guy that was, always wanting to talk ball. You see him at clinics all over the place trying to get better, and he's been successful, both as a coordinator and as a head coach. He's one of the most respected guys, not only in this state, in this area, but around the country. When you go to other areas of the country and talk about Nunzio Campanile, Bergen Catholic, everybody knows him, and really excited to have him part of our team. So with that, I'll go ahead and open up for any questions.
Hey, Nunzio, Steve Sargent, NJ.com. How are you? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Why was the time right for you now to do this? Have you had offers in the past to coach college football? And I guess was this a goal for you for a while?
Well, I had always thought that it had to be the right opportunity. And, obviously I am a, New Jersey guy through and through. So the opportunity to be here, to be able to, basically be in my backyard in a place I grew up, and, obviously, the Big Ten is at the highest level of college football. So I thought when Coach Ash and I spoke, it was really a great opportunity, great time. I worked really hard at Bergen Catholic to try and make sure that they were in a great position, and, I feel like their program's in great shape. So it was a great opportunity to move on, and I really appreciate the opportunity Coach Ash has given me.
Next question.
Hey, Sam Helma here from 24/7. My question's for Coach Ash. I was wondering if you could address signing day and your thoughts on adding Robin to the program, as well as Malik Dixon and John Hilleman.
Signing day was obviously different for us this year, the February signing day anyway. We signed the majority of our class back in December, so we only had one guy that was signed with us yesterday, so made it easy. We got Robin to join us from Sweden, a defensive end. Very excited about him, a big, explosive guy. Got to work on his fundamentals and learning the game and things, but I think he's got a ton of tools to work with. We had 10 young men join us here in January at the start of the second semester that have been in all of our workouts for the last few weeks, and they've made our team better. I think they're really good, high-character kids. They really fit in well in our locker room. They, I think, have bought into our standards and the way that we do business really early on, and they've been a fun group to watch and get to know so far, so they have made us better. You mentioned a couple individuals, Malik and Tillman, both guys I'm very excited about to have them here. Jonathan comes in as a grad transfer from Boston College, New Jersey guy from St. Peter's Prep. Real serious individual, very focused, and I think he's going to bring a lot of things to our running back group. And then Malik Dixon, we brought in from junior college. He was a bounce back from South Florida, and we kind of took him late. We knew about him, but we weren't sure we were going to be able to go that route. We were. He's done a great job so far.
We'll go to Josh.
Hi, Nunzio. Josh Newman from the Asbury Park Press. How are you this morning?
Very good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Just to kind of build on the last question, the fact that John Hillman is coming in as a graduate transfer, how much easier does that make your job coaching the running back, having an experienced guy in the room already like that?
Well, I really just met everybody for the first time, but, I actually had the opportunity to coach against Jonathan when he was in high school, so
right.
I probably have more familiarity with him more than anybody. But, obviously anytime that you have a really experienced player, and, he's a very accomplished player. He had a great career at Boston College, so, and, he's a very intelligent young man, so I think he's going to do a great job. And, he seems like he's got great leadership skills, too, so, I'm sure he can provide some guidance for those young guys.
James?
Hey, James Kratz from NJ.com. Chris, I just was wondering, obviously you hire a prominent in-state high school coach. It's created a lot of buzz. Was this something you were kind of hoping to do for a while, been thinking about, and maybe why was now the right time?
Yeah, it's something I really kind of wanted to do when I got here from the start. And, at the time, it just there were a lot of things going on here where the time just wasn't right. And at the time when I first got here, I was still trying to learn everybody, too, and find out who would be the right guy, the right fit. And it probably wouldn't have been the right time when I first got here, but after 2 years and getting to know everybody, watch everybody work, see who would be a good fit for our style and our staff and how we want to do things here. I think it was clear that Nunzio was a guy that I thought would be a great fit and a real asset to myself and to our program. I think that it just worked out with staff openings that this was the right time. He was the right fit. We had a position that would be able to work. And, he and I had been having conversations about just his desire to get into college, and I was hoping that something would be able to work out this off season, and luckily it did. But there's a lot of things that go into it when you're hiring staff guys. It's not, hey, just go hire someone from New Jersey. It's got to be the right guy, the right fit. I think you go through the criteria. Nunzio checks off all the boxes, and I'm very excited that it worked out.
We'll go to Justin.
Hi, Coach Nunzio. Justin Walters, Files One. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
My first question is in regards to how do you think your addition to the staff is going to help Coach Ash as well as the other coaches get more of a pulse on the New Jersey landscape and recruiting and getting some of the top recruits to come there? Obviously, you have a good pulse on the area, but how do you think your addition is going to get more of the kids to stay in-state and maybe go to Rutgers?
Well, I guess hopefully, I have a lot of long-standing relationships with a lot of the coaches, and I know a lot of these, a lot of the players too. I guess over the years, whether competing against them. So, hopefully, all of those things will be advantages. One thing that I've always found is, in dealing with college coaches over the years as a high school coach, the relationships do matter a lot, and I hope that the relationships that I have over the years will be a benefit, and hopefully, can help out a little bit.
Darren?
Hey, Coach, this is Darren Cooper from The Record. Coach Ash, kind of follow up on that question. Was Nunzio's connections to North Jersey and the talented prospects up there one of the boxes that you wanted to check when you thought about hiring him?
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be naive of me to say that it wasn't, but it's more than that. Also, I don't want to hire a guy just he's going to help in recruiting. I wanted a guy that could help us coach, help connect with our players that are on our roster, and that was as important to me as anything. Also, I didn't want to just hire a guy that wasn't a guy you could trust, wasn't a guy that could connect, wasn't a guy that could coach. That's not what this is about. This is about hiring a guy that is a great person, high character, connects well with people, staff, with support staff, with players. Is very competent in coaching football, and not just one position, but many positions. A guy that's had success. And by the way, he does know people in a very fertile area of our state. So it had to be someone that checked all those boxes. So, for people to think, we just hired Nunzio to go recruit. That's not what this is about. That's part of it, but it's more about the total package. There's a lot of guys that could probably just go recruit, but they may not be able to, connect and coach and do all the other things. He could do all those things, and that's why this is a great fit. It's about the person, it's about the coach, and then the fact that he's got those deep relationships with people. That's the other part of it. So there's a long list of things that made this the right move.
We'll go to Coach.
Hey, Coach Nunzio, coming from a football family, what was the reaction from your dad, your wife, your brothers on coming to work for the university?
We were all really excited. My dad was, he was really excited. He's been pushing me to do this for a couple of years, and he actually was coaching with me the last 4 or 5 years, so that was really great experience. And but all my brothers were extremely supportive. Looks like it worked out pretty well. I think my brother Vito's taking over Bergen Catholic today, so it's been a good week in the Campanile family. But my dad was really pumped up. My brothers were really excited for me, and they knew that this was something that I've wanted to do for quite a while, and so the timing is great.
We're on the floor for a couple.
Nunzio, Keith Sargent again. Did you get any advice from Anthony, just to piggyback off of Pooch's question? Any advice from him? And then a second part to that would be, I guess, competing against Anthony a little bit on the recruiting trail. What's that dynamic going to be like?
Well, I would say, I don't know that I got any direct advice, in the last few days. Probably more, we've talked so much over the years about, things that have worked, things that didn't work, and recruiting and coaching. I mean, we're kind of always talking about, always talking about football, I guess. And we've talked a lot about Rutgers and, things that Anthony obviously played here and, coached here. So he has a deep connection to the school. So, I think that we've always been talking about, what are things that would work, what are the right type of kids, all those things. So he did give me a lot of advice on this over the years. And then, as far as the recruiting against each other, if it ever so happens that we coach against each other, I think it'd be fun. I mean, we had to coach against each other when he was at Don Bosco and I was at Bergen. And, ultimately it comes down to, it's a game. I mean, everyone's out there having fun and competing hard and working. And, you separate the family stuff and you just go out and do the best job you can for your kids and your players.
We'll take a few more questions.
This is Sam Hellman here for Coach Ash. I was wondering if you could clarify the roles for Coach Erb and Coach Ninus moving forward.
Yeah, we've moved Coach Erb to coach the wide receivers. It's a position that he played in college and he's coached for a good number of years during his career, and excited about him taking over that room. Coach Ninus has moved from an off-the-field role player personnel to coaching our outside linebackers, and still have some work with special teams and specialists, but we'll also take on the responsibility of coaching our outside linebackers.
Thank you.
We'll take two more questions if you guys have it.
Nunzio, this is James Scratch. Have you spoken to Vito yet? I think Bergen Catholic announced it a couple of minutes ago.
I haven't spoken to him since they've done that, but I have spoken to him a lot over the last couple of days. So, my phone started blowing up, so I assume they did it. And I know he's really excited. It's a great opportunity for him, and it's a great school. He'll do a great job there. I know I'm personally very excited that he's taking over.
One final question.
I have one for Nunzio. This is Darren Cooper from the Record. Nunzio, if I may, will it be kind of a transition for you to go from kind of being the man calling plays for so long to now being the running backs coach? Do you think you'll have some input in the weekly game plan, that kind of stuff?
Well, I've always thought that, when you first get somewhere, I always would tell guys that I hired that I think, the first thing I have to do is do my job, so I got to make sure that, my guys are prepared. I totally understand my job and my role. And, then once I have a good grasp on what we're doing, hopefully I can provide some input that will be helpful. But, my number one job right now is to get the running backs ready and, help them become the best players they can be. And, once, I get my feet under me a little bit, hopefully I can help John and the rest of the offensive staff. And, I'm sure that, that comes as part of the job. But I do think that my number one responsibility is, get these guys ready to perform, get them ready to execute, make sure they know their job. And, there's obviously a different, very different role for me, but I'm excited about it. I think that, kind of makes it fun to do something different and try to work on being an expert at one thing. And, that's what I owe to my players.
Sounded like there was one more question trying to come in there. No? All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you.